this is Troy from Country Wood Products. I was just doing a video on my main channel, the Do-It-Yourself World, with a summary and overview of what I do all the time, which is mostly firewood processing and clearing snow, so I can do more firewood processing. That's pretty much been my life recently, and I mentioned something that really gave me a thought for a video that I think is possibly a very good informative video about drying firewood, because I have seen a lot of discussions. I follow other firewood videos and I watch and learn on some, and I have seen a lot of discussion about drying firewood and how different types of wood can take different amounts of time to dry. I've seen discussions about favorite woods and everything else, and I've seen discussions about drying times. I've seen a lot of talk about drying time. A lot of people like to cut their firewood really thin. This is maybe a little thicker than what some would like. A lot of people like to cut their wood narrower and thinner because they say normally, in normal conditions, in a average normal environment, and those are key points. Oak, for example, what I have here, will dry 1 inch thickness per year that it's laying out to dry. Oak actually on a tree will possibly never dry until you cut it and split it and stack it. In my experience, I've never dropped a dead standing oak, no matter how old it was, that was dry in the bottom part of the trunk. It's always had some moisture in it. Oak, especially and particularly, and some other woods, and pine, I know my jack pine, won't dry on the trunk. It won't dry standing. Once you cut it, pine dries mega fast. I love pine. We burn pine because it's mega fast for drying. So I'm not even going to talk about that. But right now, I want to discuss the oak, for example, that it has a very, very slow drying time, and even you can cut the tree down and lay it, even keep it off the ground, it will take forever, not literally, but next to forever, to dry out. Once you log it and stack it in logs, it's still going to take a long time to dry. Once you split it and stack that wood, then is where you get into the average 1 year per inch thickness of your oak. Let me grab another wedge like that, because typically what that means is if I have a 2-inch thick piece of oak and it dries 1 inch per year, then this side from here towards the middle is going to take a year to dry, and from this side to the middle is going to take a year to dry. So this piece will be done in a year, an entire year. But you can speed that up. At first, let's take a thicker piece, say 4 inches. Well, that's going to take 2 years to dry this thing. And that really, for a firewood seller, that is an eternity, because this is your money. I did a video called "It's Money in the Bank" a while back, and this is your money. And sitting here in the bank, it's not paying your bills. You need that dry, you need that converted and liquid, sellable now. You need it as fast as you can get it. And that's why I have the optimum conditions here for firewood. One more thing I should discuss, if I can find a piece that's not frozen. Green wood is going to take much longer, in my experience, to dry. No matter how you process it, green wood is going to take a lot longer to dry than a tree that was dead standing when you cut it. This is dead standing oak. This was just like that in the forest, and already it's losing weight since I put it up just a couple days ago. Really, I could feel the difference. Dead standing oak is going to dry out much faster than your green, in my experience. because it's already dead. And I don't know the science behind it, honestly. I just know in my experience it's way better and way faster. But drying firewood, if you consider a piece of lumber for an example, for comparison. Lumber, and this is an old piece, this is what I happen to have laying around. Lumber is usually kiln dried before you get it. Now this is actually maybe a good example, because this is a 4x4 of oak. And a perfect example, because if you were to cut this and take the normal average drying and aging and curing times for oak in nature in an average environment, if you've got 4 inches thick, then it's going to take a year per inch to dry. So to get to the center is 2 years to dry this thing all the way to the center. 2 years. The lumber industry, they cannot be setting stuff around in the warehouse and waiting for 2 years. Can you imagine how much storage space that would take? Rather, they do that in a period of days to weeks or months, depending on the kiln, and they speed process that stuff with conditioned, controlled environments. But one of the key conditions to drying in a kiln faster, heat, and another one is wind. If you've got heat or warmth and airflow, you're going to rapidly accelerate the drying of your firewood exponentially. And right here I have the optimum best conditions you could ever ask for. I have a wide open meadow, and the wind blasts through here and dries this stuff so fast. Let me take you over and show you. Now you guys saw, I just harvested this a few days ago and just split and stacked it just a few days ago. And already the checking in this wood, and this is what made me think of this. I was talking about this in my other video on my other channel. It's checking deep, deep into the wood already in just a couple days. I wish I could see my camera. That is amazing in just a couple days, because we have this wind blasting through here, that this wood dries really fast out here. I am very, very pleased. This is red oak. It was wet. I mean heavy wet, 60% plus moisture content. But because of that, any airflow is going to cause this to check quickly. And of course, when you dry wood too fast, you get serious cracks and checking. And that's what's going on here. It's drying out in the wind incredibly rapidly. And this stuff actually possibly could be ready in a couple weeks at the rate it's drying. And I love it. I have the optimum conditions here of a very wide open meadow, very wide, quite a few hundred feet. The wind just blasts through day and night. And now you've got the sun beating down on that wood, and there's your heat aspect of it. And even in the winter, my wood has dried faster than I would have ever imagined. So I've gained a lot of experience this season already in watching the wood dry out here. It was a very good experience to see how the wood dried in winter and how fast it dried, just having that wind. Even when well, in winter your moisture level, your humidity is reduced because the air is dry. And then you take that wind and blast it through here, and it just sucks the moisture out of that wood. It is very helpful and beneficial. And so I have optimum conditions here for speed drying wood. Anyway, I hope that is informative for some people, and shows you some ways that you can speed up the drying of your wood. Look at that sun baking on there on the rare sunny days you do get in winter. That just speeds it up even more. And this will be ready soon. This comes fresh from the forest to the fireplace pretty quick. Well guys, I hope you do like this video. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I am back to work, and we have a melt going on. This stuff is going away. I'll be in the woods again soon, and it's going to be fun and busy. Talk to y'all later.